the annual toolbox is when the whole company comes together. So you're talking 100 of the boys, all our salaried staff, the salesmen, and all our admin team, as well as clients. So they get a chance to come along and see APS behind the scenes that they wouldn't normally see. So the full arrest stand, it's basically going through how to rescue somebody off a roof. And what we do is we really focus on the pre-start information. So the ropes are rigged with the rescue gear, and the guys get taught how to rig that up, how to work in pairs, and should somebody fall, how to get them to the ground. So after the full arrest, they then get into mobile towers, and they actually have to build and dismantle a 5-metre high mobile tower. The guys get a chance to build, erect, dismantle, so it's a very practically driven stand. The swinging stage stand can be quite scary for a lot of guys. So the idea of the toolbox today is to give them a chance to see how it feels and see how the controls work. Turn the power off, do an emergency descent, non-powered descent. So it basically builds their confidence in how to use the equipment, so should they be needed to use it in the future, they're not so scared of it essentially. So the next stand for the swinging stage is respiratory PPE, which is a big concern at the moment, and this stand is really about identifying which products, i.e. asbestos, 2-pack isocyanates, paints, dust, requires the right PPE. So we're teaching the guys to be able to put the right PPE with the right filters, to the right mask, to the right product. So they're learning basically how to look after themselves, and more importantly, how to minimise any risk of respiratory illnesses in the future. Outside in the open air, we have our EWPs, elevated work platforms, commonly known as cherry pickers or knuckle booms. So they're a machine that can be quite dangerous in use in the wrong environment, because they have a rather large sort of knuckle boom or working area. So once the guys establish that, get their exclusion zone out, then they're basically taught how to work from the basket, work from the machine, and again do rescuing. Next stand the guys have outside is water blasting. And the thing that's often forgotten with water blasting is the environmental impact of that. Whilst the guys can use a blaster, this is more around how to control the contaminated water from water blasting. On the inside and low part of the factory, we have the scissor hoist. Most of them are electric, so the common fault in that area is they run out of power. So again, on that stand, we talk about rescuing. So the guys will learn how to do a non-powered descent. Should the guy on the roof hit his head and knock himself out, how do you on the ground come in, change the controls to manual and bring the guy down. We had a stand today on power tools, so it was a good graphic stand today, and it helps to make the guys very aware that what can go wrong if that tool is not held correctly, because the kickback and the damage to you can be quite severe. So this is an environment when we're abseiling down the outside of a building and always in pairs. So that stand today is very much focused on rescuing. Anybody can abseil, it's not a dangerous industry, but anchor selection, rope selection, team selection is very critical. The assessors on the stands all the way through will be checking for safety. So it's not about speed necessarily, because if you make a fault, that person's kicked off the job. 3, 2, 1. Our Toolbox Day race is a bit of fun that we have. So we divide the guys into 2 teams. And it's a chance for our senior tradies and senior leading hands to demonstrate their skill and knowledge in a team environment, and a little bit of fun as well. So what we do is we create a relay where they have to go through various stands and perform tasks on each of the machines. What we do behind the scenes though is we make a fault within that environment. But I think it's a chance to just bring safety away from being that negative compliance image to being a little bit of fun, a little bit of pride as well. H&S is led by the guys in the field, because they're the guys that are there on the day. They see the hazard, they see the change in working conditions, they see the new contractor arriving. They're the ones that make APS safe, not me or the operations manager or the director or whatever the case may be. Safety for us is part of our culture, it's part of our brand. We don't have a zero harm policy because we're in a high risk industry. If you have that, you tend to push away people from reporting and saying when things are wrong. Safety has got to be real and it's got to be tangible and make sense for the guys in the field. Hey!